In one of my first counseling sessions as a psychologist, I met a woman named Farzana. Oh? She was 29 years old at that time. I remember she was very shy and didn't talk much. After the session, she came to me and she told me that she trusted me and she wanted to share her life story with me. I was so happy that I was the only and first person who can listen her secret. We sat down and she started to telling me about her life story. In the age of 17, her older brother starting to raping her. He was still doing that by the time when I met her. I could see and I could feel the shame and pain she felt. With our conversation on that day, she started a new life. It was very hard for her with this kind of secret living on that society. I could feel her. It's very hard and difficult. We started to speak about this, and we had a lots of communication together. She told me about her suicidal thoughts and her depression. For me, it was a clear diagnosis of PTSD, depression, hot depression, and dissociative disorder. She told me that she is afraid. She is afraid from her brother. She cannot talk with him. But I told her the importance of standing up and protecting herself, because she needs that. She needs that to talk with him and telling him and demand him to stop. Today is enough. Stop. You cannot continue this with me. I worked a lot with her. Finally, she decided one day that today is a day I can speak with him. Because of what? She cannot speak with him because he made believe for her that no one believe her if this secret come out. If this secret come out in the society, no one believe her. Everyone blame her, and her father even could kill her. And that's maybe true, and that's true, yes. If you wouldn't be killed, you wouldn't have any normal life anymore. And she was afraid. He was continued 12 years of raping. But that day, when she talked with him, he understand. He understand Farzana is changed today. He is not the last one. She is a new one. Yes, she told him, I don't care what will happen to me if you continue this. If you continue this, I will go to the police. And she told her, there are people in outside, they would help me. You cannot do this anymore with me. Yes, that's easy. He stopped. Absolutely, he will. Because he's afraid. And he stopped raping her after 12 years. She moved out from the house. She got a fund. She made her own business with another successful woman, and she made carpets. She was a very, very intelligent woman, and she kept her secret. I could understand her, because it's very hard to share this secret on that society. My name is Hajar Mohammadi. I'm a psychologist, and I'm a motivational speaker. As a psychologist, I help a lot of women in Afghanistan to understand their psychological problem and how to cope with them. I found an NGO named Green Woman in 2014. We had an active community of girls and women, and with a group of psychologists, researchers, and doctors. We provided more knowledge and awareness about women's rights and psychological problems and mental health care. As a woman, I was so feeling joyful that I could stand out and talk, not just asking for my rights, but to counseling and teach others. I remember that time the salon was full of women that they want to learn more. And on that time, I tried hard to learn them. We as a woman have a lots of power, but the point is that how we can cope or how we can control that power and how we can use that power. Why I want to tell you first about this story, because I want to tell you more about the problem that Afghan women have in that society, and then I want to focus on what can be done. Yes, in our studies, we found two major psychological disorders among our patients and clients. First, depression, including suicidal thoughts and suicide. The second was PTSD. These psychological disorders were mainly caused by these following conditions: sexual violence, violent conflict, lack of income, lack of human rights, lack of knowledge about sexual and reproductive health, harmful traditional and cultural practice like child marriage. In our studies, we found out the impact of rape among Afghan women has a greater impact than any other problem of war, due to a very traditional and conservative culture that's really hard to talk about and cope with the consequences of rape. The impact is even bigger and harder if it comes rape into a family, like the case of Farzana. Now I want to share some numbers between Afghanistan and Sweden. Like you see in here, PTSD in Sweden is about 5%, but in Afghanistan is like about 42%. Depression is about 17% in Sweden, but in Afghanistan is about 68%. Psychologists in Sweden is about 15,500 who is working, I mean. But psychologists in Afghanistan is about 300 who is now working. Population in Sweden is 10 million, about 10 million, a little bit more, but in Afghanistan is 32 million. Now we can see what is the problem. To spread more awareness and knowledge to the people, I got a job as a TV presenter. I reached many more people to explain them, to spread awareness about mental health care and women's rights. I contributed to change the perspective of people. So seeing a psychologist would no longer be a taboo anymore. That's too important to go to the psychologist, and that's not shame. The people in the first step, they understand this. They got to understand. Yes. Through TV, I could explain to people what is the effect of psychological problem in their lives and their societies. At that time, I had a lots of recommendations through TV. But today, I think I can have some recommendation in here as well. Improving mental health care is a crucial part in peace building and building up civil society. The mental health care needs to be cultural sensitive, adapted to the local context. More and more people need to be educated as a psychologist in Afghanistan. To make equally accessible cultural sensitive psychosocial support and mental health care for Afghan and Sweden. This is the part I liked. It's about dream. Since I was a child, I loved to be on TV. It was my dream. When I was 18 years old, I spoke on TV for the first time. When I was a teenager, or I can say like a younger in the society of Kabul, I dreamed to biking and skating. This is impossible on that city. Around lots of men around you, and you cannot, it is shame, lots of blah, 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 blah. But I was the first girl, or I can say the one of first girl who did that, actually did that. I dreamed to be a psychologist and help the people in my country. That's become to reality as well. I studied psychology in Kabul University, and then I will continue studying here in Sweden to can be a useful person in that society as well. But another dream was that too. When I arrived to Sweden, I saw a lots of water in here. I said, hoo-hoo, now I want to swim. But how? I dreamed to learn swimming. But today, I'm a swim trainer for another woman who wants to learn swimming, but afraid from water and another condition or reasons. Maybe one of them is clothes. But I told them, come, just learn, no matter, you can. And they learn. I think today is a day for a new dream. I want to dream in here. A simple dream, but a big dream. I want to dream in here a world to everyone access to mental health care without any taboos. Thank you so much for your listening.